Hi there, my name is Shona Blades and today we're going to be taking part in the 300-yard shuffle and learning about it. So today we have ourselves a volunteer. This is Heidi from Women's Cross Country Track and Field. What better person to do this as a fitness test? Are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay, go and take your starting mark. So basically the 300-yard shuffle is 12 by 25 yards. They're basically running backwards and forwards 6 times until they've done the full 300 yards. This is a test of anaerobic capacity. So anaerobic is without oxygen. So basically, like the perfect event for anaerobic would be like a sprint event of the 400 meters because they're running so fast that oxygen can't actually get into the body, opposed to being aerobic, which is with oxygen. So that would be like a long distance running event. Are you ready?
Yeah.
On your marks, get set, go. She should be trying as hard as possible. So something you say to the athlete before they start is this is not an endurance. You should be going hard as possible, as fast as they possibly can. So they sprint the full time. Sports that this would be good for is soccer, basketball, hockey, any sports that involve sprinting. So here on campus, lacrosse, this would be a good fitness test for lacrosse. So as I said, it's a maximum effort anaerobic test and you tell them to go hard from the start. So the article that I found that went along with this quite well was mental fatigue does not affect maximum anaerobic exercise performance. So what this article was looking at was when you're mentally fatigued, does this affect your anaerobic levels? This was done in 2014 by Kirsty Martin and Kevin J. Thomas et al. Keep it up, you're doing fantastic. She's just going to run in the background. So as I said, mental fatigue does have an impact on sub-maximum endurance exercise. So that's what people think. The theory is that if you're tired, you obviously think you're going to perform worse. But what this is trying to say is that actually you shouldn't perform worse. If you're tired, it shouldn't have an effect. So the aim of this, as I just said, was to induce a mental fatigue to the people trying out to examine performance. So they tested 3 different things. They tested power, strength, and anaerobic capacity.
Am I nearly done?
Almost. Keep it up. Forgot. So basically there was 2 groups. One was the control group, one was the normal group. The control group sat for 90 minutes and watched films, and they watched like non-emotional documentaries, and the actual group did on a computer, were doing like tests on a computer to get their brain thinking. So basically then after 90 minutes both these groups were tested on the 3 different things. So they were put through jumping, leg extensions, and then they did an all-out 3-minute cycle, like all out as fast as you can, completely anaerobic, hardly any oxygen getting into the body. The results were that there was no difference in any performance or physiological variable. Rating of perceived exertion tended to be higher when mentally fatigued, and intrinsic motivation was lower. So obviously they weren't as motivated. The group that were doing the mentally fatiguing like tasks on the computer, they were obviously tired, so they weren't as motivated, but that didn't show. So the results were that really the conclusion is that both groups' results were so similar, so it obviously doesn't have an effect on their anaerobic capacity, which surprised me, but it did. What the test did say is that it does have an effect on aerobic capacity. So if you're doing like a 10k, and as a runner I know the feeling, like every k, if you're not motivated and you're like mentally fatigued, you're not going to be able to do it. Like there's no way. So what we did discover is it can negatively impact sub-maximum endurance exercise, but it does not affect explosive power and strength and anaerobic work capacity. So really that's the conclusion. So to end, this doesn't include aerobic, as I just said, but keep going, you're doing great. But what it does basically, what they set out to do was completed.
Surely I'm nearly done.
Oh yes you are. You did so great. I actually did forget to record your time, but you are absolutely excellent. Just deep breaths. I better go. Thanks for listening. Are you okay?